let's start our session today. I welcome you to this webinar on earned value management using Microsoft Project. Uh, Before we start, let me introduce myself. Let me just put it on the slideshow mode first. Yeah, so I'm Ninad Kulkarni, and I have around 20 plus years of experience in telecom IT domain, involved in delivering large multi-value programs and projects within India, as well as across Europe and Middle East Asia. Uh, I have been working as a project and program manager for more than 15 plus years, managing these programs. Along the route, I have completed quite a few certifications related to project program and service management, like PMP, Prince 2, uh, managing successful programs, which is a program management certification from Axios Valid in UK. Uh, I have also done strategic management from Exercise Jamshedpur, and there are quite a few others as well. I undertake trainings in all certification programs and Microsoft Project. So that's a brief about me. Now, for those of you who are new to ProThoughts, let me just introduce ProThoughts. ProThoughts is a company founded about 5 years ago with a view to streamlining project management education in India. Especially, it's found that Indian people are quite good in technical aspects, but when it comes to project and program management, uh, they are awfully wanted in certain areas, especially stakeholder engagement and communication management, etc. So this company was founded with uh, providing world-class education in project management, and so as to bring the Indian project managers up to the world level. And we have been already successful and getting noticed. So we already got the award as top 50 companies to watch out for in the first year itself. We offer consultancy in project program management, in setting up PMO, setting up risk management practices in the companies, etc. And we also offer consultancy in terms of implementing the project management solutions, like using Project Insight or using Microsoft Project, providing enterprise project management solutions. Uh, we are ever growing in terms of our portfolio. So starting with PMP, then we also started offering programs in terms of disciplined agile, PGMP, which is a program management certification from PMI, and there are a few others as well. Uh, we are expanding our presence geographically as well in Mauritius as well as in UAE, apart from having Indian presence. So that's about ProThoughts really. Let me just introduce you to the agenda today. It's going to be a very brief one. We'll talk about the earned value management concepts. I'm sure, especially for those of you who are familiar with PMPs or who are PMP, they would know what an earned value management is. So we'll quickly revise those concepts. And then I will demonstrate the use of EVM using Microsoft Project. After that, I will briefly introduce to our offerings, course offerings in Microsoft Project. And uh, I have deliberately muted you. There are quite a few people attending. So question answer, I have kept it at last. So if you if you have any questions, then please feel free to write them in the box, and then I will take them up later, or I will unmute you towards the end of the session, and then you will be able to raise your questions at that point in time. So that's going to be the things. One thing I want to tell you is that this webinar qualifies for providing you with the PDUs, which will help you to maintain your PMI certifications. So stay tuned until the end of the webinar to get the PDU claim code from this webinar. Uh, so with this, I think let's make a start with earned value management. This is just a basic of earned value management. As you may be knowing, earned value management uh, is a mechanism to actually report your status performance, project status performance, as well as being able to forecast, which are two major aspects of monitoring and controlling process. So being able to accurately determine where you are with respect to what you planned. So obviously you need to baseline the project first, and with respect to baseline data, where you are with respect to schedule, with respect to cost, etc. That's your status reporting. And then based on status reporting, the senior management and stakeholders would also likely to know uh, what is in store in future. Given the status so far, given the environment we are operating in right now, and given the futuristic view that we have developed, insights that we have developed so far, is our project performance going to be on track with respect to schedule and budget when we deliver, or do we have to make any adjustments to budget or timelines, or even the quality criteria, or even the reduction in scope, etc., etc. So the traditional methods of showing that performance, they were separate methods in terms of showing you what is the schedule variance, what is the cost variance, what is the trend with work, are we are defects, are the defects increasing or decreasing, etc. So now with earned value management, the beauty of the earned value management is that they have integrated the work performance and cost performance together. So you get a holistic picture of where your project is with respect to work, with respect to schedule, and with respect to cost. There is no point in saying that I have achieved what I intended to achieve, only to realize later that you have spent a lot more than what you should have, and there is hardly any budget left for carrying out any further work. Or I have achieved what I wanted to achieve in the budget available, but the schedule is so out of line, out of sync, that I have lost the window of opportunity. So in order to avoid these kind of situations, earned value management actually tries to combine your schedule performance and cost performance, and gives you a holistic picture of your project. So whenever you determine your data, you will be able to clearly state where your project is, and you will be able to clearly forecast where your project performance is going to be, depending on different criteria that you can use, taking into account the situation at that point in time. Now, on value management, you should appreciate that the way we are describing here, and the way Microsoft Project also supports, is that even the schedule indicators are represented in terms of cost. So past performance obviously will be represented in terms of cost, but even the schedule indicators like schedule variance is also represented in terms of cost. Now, as a part of modification of earned value, there is a separate earned value method available. I mean, enhanced earned value method available, where they also calculate schedule at completion, actual time, etc., to represent schedule variance in time units, which is most logical. But Microsoft Project doesn't implement that, and we are not going to talk about that at all. So we are just going to talk about the basic earned value performance, and just to recap all the things you might be knowing already. Basically, it is based on a baseline that you create. So first of all, there is some primary data that you actually get as a part of your planning, that is baseline plan, or as a part of your actually tracking the project. So planned value PV, or which is also known as a budgeted cost of the work schedule, that you obtain from your planning data or baseline data, and the total planned value at the end of the project, which is nothing but budget at completion. As it is that this is the data that you get from your baseline, which includes your uh, uh, actual estimates plus your contingency reserve. Remember, it does not include your management contingency. Management contingency will be over and above your budget at completion. Uh, so that's your planned value. Then you get earned value. which is also known as a budgeted cost of the work performed, and that is as on status date. So establishing a status date when you are recording the performance is very important, and Microsoft Project will allow you to set the status date accordingly. So as on the status date, what is the budgeted cost of the work performed? That is your earned value, BCWP, or earned value. That is actual budgeted cost of the work performed. And then as on status date, what is the actual cost that you incurred to perform that work? That is your AC, or also known as ACWP, actual cost of the work performed. Now, based on this primary data, there is a derived data which is used for status reporting, and derived data which is used for forecasting. Now, derived data for status reporting is schedule variance, which is EV minus PV, schedule performance index, which is SPI, which is EV divided by PV, or if you want to put it in percentage terms, then EV divided by PV into 100. Similarly, cost variance CV is EV minus AC, and cost performance index CPI is EV divided by AC multiplied by 100. So you know that SV equal to 0 or SPI equal to 1 means project is on track. SV less than 0 or SPI less than 1 means project is behind schedule. And SV greater than 0 and SPI greater than 1 means project is ahead of schedule. Similarly, CV less than 0 or CPI less than 1 means project is over budget. CV greater than 0 or CPI greater than 1 means project is under budget, and CV equal to 0 and CPI equal to 1 means project is on budget. So that's basically your status reporting indicators from earned value management. Now, similarly for forecasting, if you compute your estimate to complete from now on, and you can use multiple methods, like if your estimation is totally out of date, or you know that somebody has booked up the estimation altogether, then you can use the bottom up estimation for remaining work. Or if you feel that your variance is typical variance, and the same error is going to continue throughout the project, then you can use simply second formula, BAC minus EV divided by CPI, for your estimate to complete. And otherwise, you can use, if you find that your variance was because of the initial learning curve, but now your project performance is going to be on track, then you can use the third formula, which is BAC minus EV for ETC3. And then total estimate at completion will be AC, which is the actual cost consumed so far, plus the estimate to complete that you arrive. That will give you your estimate at completion values. Variance at completion is nothing but BAC minus EAC. Positive figure is good, which means you are within budget. And then management also likes to use two complete performance indicator, which is a ratio of the amount of budget remaining to the amount of work remaining. So BAC minus AC divided by BAC minus EV, that will give you the two complete performance indicator for a project with respect to BAC. And if you want to find it out with respect to EAC, then only in the denominator for TCPI calculation, BAC will be replaced with EAC. Management would like to keep it somewhere around 1.1, 1.2, etc. When you start the project, it will always be 1. And as your cost performance falls, it is likely to drop below 1. And management would like to keep, it is likely to drop above 1. And the moment it drops, moment it goes to around 1.5 or so, management will become jittery, because now project is not salvageable. So they will always try to put it around 1.1 or 1.2. So if you ask for additional budget over and above BAC value, then they will compute what additional budget will bring the EAC value to around TCPI value to around 1.2, and then they will only release that much difference between EAC and BAC. If otherwise, you would, as a project manager, you would also like it to be under 1, so that you have got absolute freedom of using your budget. So you will always ask for more budget and try to keep the TCP around 0.8 or so, but management will try to keep it around 1.1 or 1.2. So that's typically what earned value summary is about, theoretical calculations or earned value. Now, the way project supports earned value is first of all determining the method. Before that, earned value graphs, which are typical S curves. So S curve for your actual cost, earned value, and PV. You can actually find out VAC, ETC, SV, CV using these graphs. And Microsoft Project allows you to generate these graphs escorts, as well as Microsoft Project allows you to do basic calculations on SV, SPI, CV, SPI, and plot the graphs. So all of that are supported by Microsoft Project. We'll see those graphs in a while. Now, one of the important aspects when you use Microsoft Project to determine your estimate at completion, first of all, you need to set your baseline. Secondly, whenever you want to report, you have to set your status date. But before that, you have to also remember how are you going to report your performance. Are you going to use the percentage complete, which is a default method used by Microsoft Project for on value calculation, or are you going to use physical percent complete? Now, percent complete is that way a very crude measure because it only takes into account the duration. So if you have a 10-day task and you say that you are on the fifth day, then it will say that percent complete is 50% without actually taking into account whether the work is really booked on that project for those 5 days or not, whether the rate at which the work was completed was same or it was different. You might be on the fifth day, but you might have actually accomplished only 10% of the work. The resource may not be present at all. So percent complete method that way is not a very accurate way of determining task for all tasks. Especially, let's say for example, there's a task like creating a brick wall. Now, creating a brick wall, you can't really assume that row by row, if the masoner starts putting in bricks, laying down bricks, then laying the first row will involve lesser work as compared to the laying the fifth row, because every time he has to lift the brick, put it on, and then bend down again, lift the brick. So there's an additional effort involved. So effort consumed is non-linear, but physical percent complete, if you say 2 rows completed out of 5 or 3 rows completed out of 5, then it will give you actual indication of what is the work complete. So that is definitely a better method of determining earned value. But for that, then obviously Microsoft Project doesn't have any reference. So you have to devise your methods to generate physical percent complete and enter accurate data. Percent complete Microsoft Project can straight away do by the data that you submit. So if your team members tell you that I have almost 90% work complete, and you enter 90%, Microsoft Project will enter that for a 10-day task it is 9 days complete, remaining duration 1 day, and it will calculate earned value accordingly. So physical percent complete is a better method, but then you have to painstakingly determine the methods for obtaining those percent complete, physical percent complete data somehow. Default, and another thing is that for some tasks, so as I said, percent complete is easier. So if you want to leave percent complete as your default method, then for some tasks which are actually adding value to the specialist products, you can override that percent complete method with a physical percent complete method using task information dialog box. So I will show you how you can do that. So there can be a mixture of measurement methods that you can use in a project. So most tasks can use percent complete, but key tasks which actually aid completion of your project can use physical percent complete. Now, Microsoft Project actually creates 3 tables: earned value table, earned value cost indicator tables, and earned value schedule indicator tables. Actually, these are, I mean, there is nothing so drastically different. Cost indicator will focus on cost performance, schedule indicator will focus on schedule indicators, and earned value is a generic table basically. Now, that said, you can always create your own custom tables as well to get entire schedule cost and TCPI performance in one page also. So you can create your custom table, or you can add columns to the existing tables. That's possible in Microsoft Project. One thing to note is that TCPI in Microsoft project is a consolidated field, so you will not be able to plot a graph of TCPI against time. You will only get a TCPI for a project at a point in time, but you will not be able to establish a trend for TCPI for a project. So that's something that you have to remember. Now, based on these tables, the beauty of Microsoft Project is that once you start entering your data, either using physical percent complete or percent complete, Microsoft Project will automatically compute the SV, PV, EV, CV, SPI, CPI, TCPI fields and populate your earned value tables, and it will also reflect on the reports. So the moment you configure your reports by choosing timelines, etc., the data that you update will automatically be displayed in the reports. So it will show charts of your EV, PV, and AC over time. It will show variances SV, CV over time, and it will show charts of performance indicator over time. You will be also able to generate earned value over time report, which is an S-curve report using the visual report. So it's not directly available in a Microsoft project, but you can always create, based on the data, you can always create a visual report for Microsoft project, based on Microsoft project. Now let me just demonstrate these things to you first. What I have done is I have created a sample file. It's a very simple project for your normal SDLC, requirements capture, design, development, testing, deployment. It's a very simple project, and I have actually populated it with certain data for demonstration purpose. So first of all, as I said, you have to set the options properly. So where do you set the options? Go to File menu, then go to your options. Then go to Advanced Options, and here you can see this earned value options for the project. Here you say default or task earned value method. I have left it at percent complete, but you can choose whether you want to use physical percent complete, and then baseline for earned value calculation. I have only one baseline, so it is saying baseline last saved on so and so. But if there are multiple baselines, then Microsoft Project allows you to create 11 different baselines. So you can choose, and that's a very important point. Earned value measurement will be always with respect to the baseline data, because that is what will give you your planned value and budget at completion. So you have to choose the right baseline against which you want to generate reports. So these are the two things that you have to set here. So baseline field is over to be set here, and default earned value method is to be set here. Now, as I said, this default earned value method can be overridden for a typical task. So say for example, this HLD, you want to actually use physical percent complete, then double click, task information dialog box will open up, and here you can go to earned value method. Instead of percent complete, you can see physical percent complete. So all other tasks will be earned value will be computed using percent complete. Only for this task it will be computed using physical percent complete. So that is the basic setting that you require for earned value calculations. Afterwards, it's all about just tracking the performance, entering the data, and Microsoft Project will compute all the fields. So like I said, you can select specialized earned value fields for earned value analysis. So you can select, say, earned value field table itself, apply this table, and you can see that all the calculations for planned value, earned value, AC, SV, CV, EAC, BAC, VAC are there. You can also add columns if you want to customize the table, or you can create a totally new table. So go to more tables, and then from here you can create your own tables, and then decide on the columns that you want to put. Likewise, you can use another table called, say, earned value schedule indicators table maybe. So this way, now you will get all the data computed. You can analyze the data in the table itself. But better way would be to analyze the data, at least have a look at the reports. Now, where you can generate see these reports. So for seeing the reports, you have to go to report tab. Then you have to go to cost, and then from cost you have to go to earned value report. Now you can see that it gives you data as on the status date. So I have set the status date of 13th of August. So as on 13th of August, where you can see status date, let me just show you where you can see status date. You can see here 13th of August is set at the status date here. So as on that date, what is my EAC? What is my ACWP? What is my BCWP that is shown over here? It has shown the graphs of ACWP, ECWP over time. It has also shown graphs of variances over time. So ideal variances should be zero, but then negative variances would mean by that my project is behind schedule and over budget. Similarly, it also shows you SPI, CPI. You start with 1, and then as the falling indicators below 1 indicate that my project is behind schedule and over budget. So this way you will be able to analyze your project performance well. The beauty of this is that as I keep updating it and keep changing the status date, I would get the populated report at my fingertips. I don't have to worry about generating those reports whatsoever. Now, Microsoft Project also allows you to generate S curves, which is your odd value indicators reports in an S table, the S curve that I showed. But for that, you have to actually create visual reports. And that is also useful for people who don't have Microsoft Project. Visual report allows Microsoft data to be exported to Visio files or to Microsoft Excel, provided you have got 2010 version or above, and that way you will be able to generate S curves there. So let me just show you that. Go to report tab, select visual reports, and from here you select earned value over time report. So that's a S curve that is shown, and you simply say view. Microsoft Project will try to create OLAP cubes out of that. It will take a while. It will open Microsoft Excel, and it will export that data into an S curve there. Just bear with me, it will take some time for a file to open up. Building OLAP cube itself is a very resource intensive exercise. So it will take a while in collecting that data, formatting it, and then presenting it into report. Yeah, so that's, you can see that this is a pivot table that it has automatically created. A very good way to allow people without Microsoft Project to slice and dice data and play with it. So I will just put it to all quarters. Now you can see that this is an S curve that gets generated. So this way you will be able to get the S curves and send it to your stakeholders for analyzing the performance at their convenience. So basically, that's pretty much about earned value management using Microsoft Project. Now, Microsoft Project 2019 also has got features for your agile planning and development. So earned value calculations can very well be supported for agile projects as well. So that's about earned value management. Leave your questions till the end. I would just introduce you to our course offerings on Microsoft Project, and then I will take the consulted questions. So typically, like I explained to you just now, we actually do it module by module, especially for the classroom batches and online instructor-led training programs. We do it module by module. So I explained the concepts like this, the way I did it for earned value, and then there will be question and answers, and there will be a guided exercise, instructor-led guided exercise. So you will be able to reinforce the learning straight away by applying those concepts to real-life situations. And that way we actually cover the entire Microsoft Project training. So right from, you will be able to create a dynamic schedule, you will be able to let me just put it on the slideshow mode first, so just to make it bigger. You will be able to re-baseline the optimized schedule and baseline the schedule, then track the performance, carry out the performance reporting, even management of multiple projects and resource optimization across projects. All of that you will be do. So basically, you will be able to do the complete life cycle of project. We'll take one case study and right, starting from developing a project plan to baselining the schedule to tracking the project performance, running what if scenarios, and optimizing the schedule, rebaselining the schedule, creating different reports, optimizing resource usage across multiple projects. All of that will be covered in about 16 hours of training. There are around 11 graded exercises that we complete throughout. So that will help you to reinforce the things. The way we carry out, as I've explained, this is the concept. So I explain a thing, then you can ask questions. You take the guided instructor-led exercise, and that's how we walk you through the concept step by step. We actually offer free course counseling as well. So many times people want some customizations, especially the corporate batches or some batches where students are primarily from one institute. Even we conduct trainings for educational institutes as well. So they want some customization. So we do a free course counseling as well. We create custom content with a case study for and course material, and then 16 hours of online sessions are provided. You can then practice at your own convenience as well later on, and we also provide post-training support. So many of our students come back with their real life problems, and we offer guidance and support on solving those issues. One of the things that you need to very well understand for online trainings and maybe for the e-learning that I'm going to talk about now as well is that you need to have access to Microsoft Project yourself. Because it's a hands-on course. Only the practice will make you perfect. You have to hone your skills and you have to carry out the exercises yourself. So you need to have a copy of your own Microsoft Project. You may want to get in touch with ProThoughts in case you don't have, and then they might be able to find out certain solutions for you. But before you take any of such courses, you ensure that you have a working copy of Microsoft Project 2016 software with you. Now, in addition to this corporate batches, classroom trainings, and instructor-led e-learning course, we also launched Microsoft Project e-learning course last month. So Diwali month was the first month where we launched this course, and there were already takers for that course as well. So here, what I have done is I have actually consolidated all the material that we cover in 16 days, plus a lot more, because you need a lot more explorations when we so that you will be able to learn at your own pace. And if you are stuck, then you don't have to call instructors every now and then. Of course, that facility is available. If you are stuck, if you don't understand anything, then you can always get in touch with ProThoughts, and they can put you in touch with me. But we have tried to create a self-sufficient e-learning course where you can take the course at your leisure, experiment until you are satisfied, and you can stop and rewind and play those contents as many times as you want. And the good part is that after you complete e-learning course, you will be able to get 60 PDUs from ProThoughts. So that's actually a pretty good thing to take, or pretty good incentive to take this e-learning course itself, especially to complete your requirement for achieving the continued certification requirements from PMI. Now we also have got what is known as a learning path. So e-learning course is just a stepping stone where you get introduced and you can start using software for planning. You can recommend that software to be an enterprise software solution in the organization, etc. But we have actually created a learning path for you. Like after you take that e-learning course, if you want to hone your skills further, then there is a examination available, multiple choice examination available, which you can take. Then there are some actually case studies built up, which you can take. Again, the case studies culminate into a multiple choice examination, and your answer should match the, after doing the case studies and implementing it in Microsoft Project, your answer should match the multiple choices provided over there. That's the form of an evaluation that we carry out. And after such rigorous evaluation, this actually leads to what is known as ProThoughts Certificate of Excellence. So this ProThoughts Certificate of Excellence is a rubber stamp that you have achieved a certain level of proficiency in Microsoft Project as far as planning, baselining, tracking, reporting goes, and it actually will put you in good stead for project management jobs. Project management is using Microsoft Project is in heavy demand in the construction industry, in IT industry, everywhere basically. It's one of the widely used software, so it will give you good pedestal for launching a career as a project manager using Microsoft Project. And that will also free up your bandwidth to carry out value-added activities like stakeholder engagement and communications management, risk optimization, that is maximizing the opportunities and minimizing the threats, etc., which will make you help you to become a very good project manager. So this learning path is a very good learning path. For details, you can look at this website, prothoughtsolutions.com, for Microsoft Project Learning, and or you can also get in touch with the ProThoughts coordinator. I am going to share the contact details just in a while. Now, in addition to this, there are actually quite a few other certifications that we offer, like PMP Online, PGMP Online, Discipline Agile. There are some upcoming courses given there. And you can also combine these courses with Microsoft Project. And then there will be some combo offers available from ProThoughts for MS Project plus PMP, or PGMP plus MS Project, so Discipline Agile plus MS Project, so on and so forth. So for any such combo offers or any additional information, cost structure about courses, or if you want to talk to me, you can either look at the ProThought Solutions website, or for further queries you can get in touch with Siddhant on this number or the email address provided. Even if you want some topics to be included in webinars, then you can get in touch with Siddhant, and he will be able to arrange for creating webinars on those topics.